It should be no surprise that the Hoenn region is my favorite region of them all. I love all the Pokemon like Hariyama, Sceptile, Gardevoir, and even Mightyena. Yep, I love all the Pokemon. Every last one of them.
Well, unlike Zelda, Hoenn is my least favorite region. Johto for life. But Zelda, honestly, can you say you love all of the Hoenn Pokemon? I mean, honestly, look at some of these.
Oh, I forgot about some of these Pokemon. Guess we're doing a top 5 on the worst Pokemon at Hoenn, huh? Okay, let's get started. P.S. We're mostly basing these off Ruby and Sapphire, since some of our arguments are that their movesets are trash in Gen 3, and we're talking about wild encounters, not Pokemon that are bred. For a while, I didn't think Mascarene was all that bad. I just thought he was getting a bit too much hate. But then I used one. Without sugarcoating it, Mascarene is trash. I mean, just look at these stats. Base 60 speed, base 70 HP. I mean, hell, its highest stat is its special defense, and that's only base 82. What makes this worse is that in Gen 3, the only stab move it learns leveling up is Gust and Silverwind. And in Gen 3, both of those moves are physical, and Mascarene is more of a special attacker. The reason it's not any higher on this list is because in ORAS, it did get a slightly better moveset, like learning Air Slash at level 38 and Bug Buzz at level 42, but its stats are still awful. Also, I guess its abilities aren't that bad, but they don't make any sense.
Okay, so this Pokemon is literally one of the worst Pokemon in existence, not just in Hoenn. Surprised it didn't make number 1? Yeah, I am too. There is still a Pokemon that is still way worse than this one. So Castform, the weather Pokemon. Let's see, its stats are awful, and its ability only comes in handy for 5 turns. Let's face it, Castform can only be used in weather. Sure, you can run a rock to heighten the turns up to 8, but still, what is this Pokemon really going to take out? Its speed stat isn't all that impressive, not to mention most of its moves it gets are to boost its viability in the weather, and can make it hit harder according to the type of weather it has, being sunny for fire type, raining for water type, and hailing for ice type. I also haven't forgotten the terrible normal type attacks it gets being its primary stab without the weather. Speaking of weather, the only normal type level up move that does damage is Weather Ball, and as its name says, you guessed it, it only does well in the weather, and depending on what type of weather is present is what typing it will be. Other than that, it only has 50 base power. Its better normal type moves are taught by TM or taught by Tutor. Even then, it is severely outclassed by other normal type Pokemon due to its very bad stats. I really wish I could say more about this Pokemon, but it's only useful in weather. I will say though, in weather, it can be a pretty decent Pokemon. That is why it is only number 4 on this list.
Just like Mascarene, I didn't really think Plusle Minun were all that bad, but the more I thought about it and looked at their stats and move pool, the more I realized that they are pretty bad. Again, let's look at the stats. Both Plusle and Minun have pretty much the same stats, except Plusle has a higher special attack than Minun, and Minun has a higher special defense than Plusle. But it's nothing to brag about since they're only base 85, and their highest stat is their speed being base 95. These two easily get overshadowed by Manectric, who has a base speed of 105, and its special attack is also 105. So anything Plusle and Minun can do, Manectric can do even better. Even Manectric's moveset is better. Even in ORAS, Plusle and Minun's move pool doesn't get much better, except for maybe Discharge at level 31. If I had to pick, I think Minun is the worst out of the two, but since they really aren't that much different, we had to put both at number 3.
This next evolution of Pokemon consists of the feline Pokemon Skiddy and Delcatty. What makes this evolution bad is obviously their stats, but the most noticeable is their abilities. Look at its abilities, Cute Charm and Normalize. Cute Charm is obviously the best ability to have for it, as it gives a 30% chance for an opponent with an opposite gendered Pokemon to get infatuated. Its other ability, Normalize though, is just awful. You see this move pool it has access to? With Normalize, all of these moves become normal type. What's the point of having coverage moves when you have the Normalize ability? I mean, sure the ability might be useful in competitive battling with maybe a Choice Band or Choice Specs, but even if, its stats are still awful for competitive and casual play. This Pokemon had so much potential, but it was ruined. I think Delcatty is calling for a Mega Evolution, Game Freak.
This should be no surprise. Number 1 is obviously Luvdisc. What do I say about Luvdisc that hasn't been said already? I mean, we can start with all the good things, like, let's see, I mean, it has a pretty decent speed, being base 97. Okay, yeah, now let's look at the other stats. Oh no, where did they go wrong? It had to have been on purpose how awful Luvdisc is. Do you see that special attack stat? Do you see all the moves it can learn? They didn't even try to hide it, even in Oras. In Oras, they didn't even give it a slight boost in stats, and the new moves it has access to via level up are still pretty bad, like Attract, Flail, Sweet Kiss, Aqua Ring, and Safeguard. The only attacks worth bringing up are Takedown, which is normal and isn't even stab, and Hydro Pump, which has a 70% chance of hitting. Oh, and plus its Pokedex entries remind me of how lonely I really am. Thank you all for watching this video, and thank you, Mystic, for joining me in this video.
You're welcome. I enjoyed being able to talk smack on some of these awful Pokemon. If you guys did enjoy though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Zelda for more amazing Nintendo related content. I can promise you will enjoy your stay here. Also, if you're from Zelda's channel and haven't already seen the video we did on my channel, here's an annotation. We did the best team for Hoenn, where we basically pick 5 Pokemon and a starter Pokemon and turn them into the best team for the player's experience through Hoenn.
Oh, you're too kind to me, Mystic. But yeah, like Mystic said, if you haven't seen the video we did over on his channel, then click the annotation on the left. And if you want to see my video on Luigi's Mansion, then click the annotation on the right. Once again, thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great day.